Hi, welcome to this channel on magnetic energy, technology principles, applications. This video is about magnetic energy and the government or governments and conspiracies. Let's just do this all in one video. And I don't even know if there's a point to this video other than it's just a time to ramble and share, because I know these thoughts, I get bombarded with this topic and messages about this topic. So I will address it to some degree. And yes, based on the people that I've known and worked with and the scientists and engineers over the last, 30 years, I would say that I think it's very, very likely, in my humble opinion, that the government has all sorts of magnetic technology, all kinds of anti-gravitic technology, and various technologies that are both terrestrial, extraterrestrial, and both current and ancient. And they keep this stuff under wraps, and they have it in top secret labs and everything. And honestly, I think the scientists that work in those labs, they follow a completely different paradigm of science. They don't even follow the Einsteinian model. They're definitely more Teslian, in my opinion, and they have much more exposure to experiments and high-tech experiments and magnetic energy experiments and magnetic resonance experiments, and are much more aware that the universe works in a manner very, very differently than what is taught in universities and schools and everything. So yes, I do think that, and that goes along. Then you can feed into the other things. I'm sure that it's. I'm fairly confident that the government also has basically the cures for all diseases, viruses, cancers, everything else. They hold that stuff, and they have multiple different ways of curing all of that. And it's funny because when you're in this low vibration cycle, so let's just talk about this for a second. The governments around the world are almost like the ultimate expression of low vibration energy, to the point where they have attracted intergalactic attention because of their foolish actions, stupidity to the utmost degree. And so in the low vibration planet, while we're in this cycle, we're coming to an end of this cycle, the government, what is their role in the low vibration? Well, they think, and we have this incredibly dysfunctional relationship with our government, that their job is to control people, to keep people suppressed, to oppress people, to gather all the technology, to regulate what people understand and what people know and what people don't know, and to lie to people, and to keep the corporations going, and to keep people economically enslaved. And the list goes on and on and on. They have all agenda after agenda. You got to keep the ball rolling, and all of that will come to an end. It actually kind of has to come to an end, at least in the form that we know it. And the government and the conspiracies and everything. So the truth will come out. It will be revealed. The truth obviously is different depending on what level of vibration you're at, and it's different for every individual. So one of the huge challenges right now, when we're in such a low vibratory energy on the planet, is to tune into your higher consciousness, tune into your higher self, tune into your heart energy, and come to figure out what the truth is for you. And so part of what I have talked about in other videos is this idea that when you know something and you get something in a state of meditation or a state of higher consciousness, it is a full body experience. It is a heart center experience. All of a sudden your heart center comes alive, and it comes alive with information or an understanding or an awareness or knowing or feeling that something is true or not true, for that matter. And so this isn't like a heady thing, and we got to be really careful with that. So one of the things to really keep aware of is any kind of low vibratory blockage that you might have cognitively could very much change your feelings. It could change your emotions. It could change your whole opinion, your whole assessment of a situation. And what actions you should take could be completely different just from one simple blockage of lower vibration energy. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's so important to to do meditative practice and to circulate light through your system. Do your deep breathing to accelerate that etheric energy through your body and through your being to help clear that energy out, create that kind of that light, literally the source light pressure system that helps clear out that any low vibration energy so that you can come to clarity on certain issues. And like if the government's telling you to do something, seek higher guidance, seek your heart guidance, seek your higher self guidance. You can go to whatever works for you. This could be spiritual guides, angels, source, whatever gets your consciousness into a higher state of vibration so that you can present an issue at a higher level of consciousness and feel good throughout your whole being about the decision that you are making for yourself, and not relying on authorities to tell you what to do at every turn of your lives and how to live your life and what decisions to make. And so that's kind of a bit of a soapbox. You can have the best idea on the planet. You can have this incredible idea of technology or anything, and it really doesn't mean shit when you take it to a higher level of consciousness and see what the universal support is for that. You may see, and like our team has seen over and over and over in the many years, gosh, we have so many great ideas. I think we think they're just brilliant, right? Great technology and everything, but when we take it to a higher state of consciousness and we look at that and we present it to whatever you want, the universe or source or whatever, there is zero universal support and higher support for that idea at this time. And so that the timing of all things is so important. And yes, the governments around the world, there may be governments that are holding on to higher technology, and I'm sure there's all kinds of conflict and secrecy and everything else going on with that. But to some degree, that is keeping the technology contained, and that's probably exactly where it needs to be right now. And I know people say this over and over, but it's this idea that we have signed up for incarnations at this time, fully aware, fully empowered of what is happening. At a low vibration, when you look around the planet, if you're at a low level of vibration, and we all go through it on a day-to-day basis, when you look around the world and you see what's happening, it's very easy to fall into victim mode, into feeling oppressed, into feeling suppressed, into feeling like you're being controlled, or like there's just all kinds of just really low vibration energy. But then as you let go of that energy and you get into a vibratory state and you see that, wow, no matter what happens, no matter how dark it seems and how dark the conspiracies may appear to be, at a higher level, they are still being allowed to happen, and you have accepted the role or the path while they are happening. And so now that doesn't mean that there's never a call to action, okay? So yeah, there may be a time to storm the castle, but that time should come as, in my opinion, it should come when you are sure at a higher level of consciousness that is what you are called to do. That is a heart level decision, and you do it in a heart-centered way. So keep in mind, and this is maybe this is the point of this video, what I'm about to say is, people still at this level, this low level of vibration, we have genetic issues that happen. So we have fight or flight responses that are genetically encoded at a low level of vibration. And what people need to understand is the magnetic resonance around the planet is intimately connected, it's intimately linked, connected to our genes, to our genetic, our DNA, as that energy is always moving in and out. So it's kind of like epigenetics. This would be like another level of a quantum level, a level of epigenetics, where the magnetic resonant vibrations around the planet constantly influence our DNA structure. And so we all can fall right into fight or flight responses very fast and get into out of control emotions, out of control actions. And as we move into the transition that we're going into, those genes will be turned off. Does that make sense? So as we transition into kind of more of this Shambhala presence and awareness and culture and society, governments, low vibration parts of the governments crumble. Conspiracies all become known. The government will no longer hold on to technology. They will no longer try to suppress the evolution of humanity. They will enhance the evolution of humanity. They will actually work for the people and serve the people, and they will no longer try to control people with various programs that involve medical control and everything else. What they'll be doing is trying to set people free and free those people. And along with that process is the technology that takes away scarcity, so you can actually support people fully and not have to worry about running out of resources. And what are the consequences of that on a planetary scale? So we're looking at a interconnected level of consciousness with humanity and with governments around the world, serving the people and serving our higher vision and our higher role in life and on this planet. And let me just say this: there is nothing that cannot be cleaned up with the right technology and the right level of consciousness. So that includes planetary contamination, the fields that are contaminated around our planet, inner planet, oceans, the groundwater, the land itself, landfills, the air, the atmosphere, the ozone layer, the ionosphere. There's contaminants, space junk. All of it can be 100% cleaned up with the right technology and the right level of consciousness, including whatever people are putting into their bodies that are not natural. If there are any unnatural substances, if there are any genetically modified substances, or any substances that need to be cleared out of the physical body in order for it to function at a new higher level, so that it has a free flow of etheric energy from the energy body to the physical body, and nothing that cannot be recognized is interfering with that flow, something that may cause inflammation. Anything that can cause inflammation, and what is the root cause of inflammation is the etheric body cannot properly interface with the physical body and transfer that energy, so you get this buildup, okay, of pressure. That's in a magnetic response anytime you're having pressure. So that's a buildup of magnetic energy, a magnetic response that is at a subatomic level that transfers into the cellular level and causes cells to not respond the way they're supposed to, and ultimately leads to inflammation. And so there's all kinds of things happening with voltage gate ions and then not responding properly. These are a lot of physiological processes. But the bottom line of all of that, though, is when there's something unnatural in the body, the etheric response to that is not, it doesn't recognize that. And the system is very sensitive. Now, as we move into a higher level of vibration and awareness and consciousness, we start to gain more, control is the word, and that's a low level vibration word in many contexts, and so I apologize for using it in various videos. But we learn how to work with our bodies in the sense that we learn how to heal them and change and adjust the energy and the vibration of those bodies, and to remove things that are not in alignment with our natural bodies. And then we will have the magnetic technology to enhance our ability to do that with our physical bodies. Okay, so, and that's really getting very, very close around the corner to us being able to do that and having that be released. And so I want to say, please have hope. Please do whatever you can to stay in a higher level of consciousness. And we just need to recognize and be patient with ourselves that at this level, it's very easy to fall into uncontrolled behavior and irrational decisions. And it's okay. We have to step back. We have to take deep breaths. We have to do our best to listen to our heart center and let our decisions be based on a full understanding that goes throughout our entire being, and not just some flaky little fear-based thing that is happening in our brains that is a result of television or the media or the internet and the brainwashing that takes place. That we have to let that up, give that energy to source, and listen to what our higher consciousness is telling us to do. and the governments and conspiracies will fade away with a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of vibration. And the people that are in those positions that are also being controlled, by the way, by those systems and controlled by a paycheck and all that, as their level of consciousness is raised and those the power hungry stuff, that greed, all that starts to fade away, and to the point where even our genetic disposition no longer supports that lower vibratory energy. So, with all of that weird ass rambling, I will see you next time.